I look like that one black girl on Jimmy Neutron. I think I look like Journey, my daughter. That's my twin now, with this hairstyle.
You can't go up against me. You're going to end up in jail or in a grave. So pick your poison.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. And this is another installment of the Blueface Circus.
And the thing about it, I don't care who you be with. It's just the fact that he cared who I was with. He cared who I was with, what I was doing up, and what I was saying. I say Bicky. This nigga start me out. What? What the f? My back I still have to go to the hospital. Bro, I told my brother. Then I told my brothers that's locked up. You lucky my brother's locked up. They would have killed you. Straight up. Some things you can't keep tolerating. Like, I get it, Blue. That's what we was on before you got locked up. But to do that 2026, you okay? Then you doing that in front of your son. Because the little weird people he co-signing, it's not just him. It's him in an army of demons. He came out of jail, and now he leading the legions of demons. At the arcade, my phone go missing. Then we get into a whoop-de-woo. He stomped me out. Then he have me bark on a live stream. Like, I don't know when the last time I humiliated myself like that. That's probably like 2 years ago when I was with him. Y'all don't even know the half of what I'm trying to say. Long story short, people like that, they deserve to be in a grave or in jail. In jail. Straight up. Care what nobody said. Then he keep going up against me. You can go up against them little small fries, right? But bitch, you can't go up against me. You're going to end up in jail or in a grave. So pick your poison.
Now, I did 3 live videos. I did a live video the day that he was released from jail, and I talked about how he did a welcome home thing with his mom, Clarissa. They were filming this like reality thing, and she had his kids, brought his kids to him. They then went to like the arcade. Chrisean showed up. Once she showed up, Jaden went and took her kids, and he continued on the day with Chrisean. In that stream, Carlissa claimed that she was so up Blueface behind that she left her child with Blueface's father without a car seat.
That baby is somewhere. She drove off and left that baby. It wasn't no car seat, no nothing. She drove off and left that baby at Mount Tasia trying to follow my son. Jonathan daddy don't got no diapers. He ain't got no food. He don't know what the to do.
Now, Blueface's father popped up online right after they were in the arcade with a photo of him in the car with Chrisean's baby. As you can see, like Carlissa said, the baby was left with Blueface's father. Now, a social media user found something that Blueface's father had posted where it was him and Junior after the arcade, where they believe what Junior was in a stroller and not a car seat. And as you can see, Blueface's father looks like a deer in headlights, like he don't know what to do, just like Carlissa said. In the caption on Facebook under the post, the woman who posted it said, "I am not trying to be funny. Why the HE double hockey sticks do they have Junior in a damn stroller locked in like it's a car seat? All these adults and nobody has sense? All the money and nobody can get this baby a car seat? I cannot stand people that don't properly secure their babies." Now, I didn't include this picture in my live. This is something that I seen later, but I talked about all of the hoopla that went on that day in this live and all of the back and forth between Chrisean, Jaden picking up her kids, what Clarissa had to say, and so on and so forth. And then I ended up getting off live. Now, he did a stream later that night with DDG, to which the very next day I did another live, and I was talking about them being on live, him making songs, her fanning him, making her bark like a dog, and things like that. Now, on that live, I predicted that it would probably be about a week, maybe 2, or maybe even a month before they were online airing each other out and exposing one another. And also, too, I think that it's going to be a matter of time before they are arguing. And as soon as they get to arguing, this is the playbook, okay? The playbook never changes. It never changes. The script is the same script. Blueface gives her the time of day. He pillow talks to her. He acts like, he says whatever he needs to do to get some pussy. Okay? Then he starts entertaining other women. He starts being disrespectful. And then what she does is go to the internet. She's going to soon, I give it about, let's say, a week, 2 weeks, maybe even a month time. She's going to go to the internet. She's going to be crying. And she's going to expose everything that happened up until the day of whenever she's crying on the internet.
What's up with being there for the kids? You feel me? Y'all don't even know, bro. A bitch be tired, bro. Like a bitch be really tired, bro. And I ain't blaming nobody, you feel me? I'm just saying I'm tired, bro. Really am. I genuinely love my son. I genuinely love him. And I hate, like, people keep trying to paint that image like I don't love him. I just wish, like he got the same love I give him from his father, his grandma, everybody. Like, I cheating on the chin, like, that's what I get. You know what I'm saying? Like, I should've got married, bro. That's why, like, when you go against the word, bro, and really be there to just protect you, you know? Like,
my prediction on November 5th was so on point. Let's listen to some more, because what I play after my prediction is going to be everything that happened on November 6th, the very next day of my prediction. And then we're going to roll back into November 7th, everything that happened where she's saying he stomped on her and so on and so forth, and give you the rest. But let's listen to my prediction of what I said was going to happen, and it literally happened to a T. When he was doing his rap, he was basically saying, like, I don't need a bitch for nothing, whoop. Like, one of the lyrics that he said was, I don't need a bitch for nothing. And so when he said that, she looked back and, like, made a face, and then he changed his lyric, and then he was like, I don't need a bitch for nothing unless I ask her for something. Or it was something like that. Like, he was rapping, and then she looked at him, she was like, and then he changed his lyric, and he was like, I don't need a bitch for nothing unless I want something. It was, I don't know the lyric, but he changed it up. So she was trying to show and insinuate that she been taking care of him in jail. Okay. And so whenever he starts to entertain these other women, whenever they start arguing, which is going to be very soon, okay, she's going to get online. She's going to talk about how much money she gave him or what she's done for him. She's going to expose text messages. She's going to expose like that. It's the same script over and over, different day. To my surprise, which, you know, I gave them at least, I thought, a week before all the exposing happened, but it happened the very next day. My video was November 5th, and all heck broke loose on November 6th. She first went at Jaden. Jaden went back at her. Blueface then went at Jaden. Chrisean, because I guess he was spending so much time being mad and butthurt that Jaden didn't hold him down, she then started to expose him. Now, let me give you guys a quick breakdown of how the exposing started out in the beginning of the day. Many of y'all already seen the back and forth between her and Jaden and a lot of the tweets between Jaden and Blueface and Chrisean and all of those things. But since more information has come out, she's told on herself about giving Blueface all of her last money, and she's now begging Lemmy to give her money that she didn't work for because she breached the contract. Let's revisit how she was trying to shame Jaden for asking for $1,000. To which Jaden ate that tail up like, girl, I don't need to ask him for no money. I got doors opening up for me while you barking indoors. Okay, which will make sense later because she gave him all her money. And let me include some of the tweets that were going on while Jaden and Chrisean was going back and forth that I didn't include in my original video. Let's put some of this in a better sequence and let's get to it. Let's go to the top. So she started out by saying, Jaden, I don't know what's up with you, but watch your mouth. I don't want to see you in harm's way. All because of your bitter and sour heart. Now, that was a threat in case you guys didn't clock it. Clarissa not even showing the messages between her and Blue, like how you took his kids from him just to ask for $1,000 through her. He just got out. He don't got to give you nothing. How you take a man's kids, then turn around and ask him for money right after he comes home. 2 years in prison, he took us out on his last, and y'all know he's never really on his last, but that's not the point. It's just bitter and evil behavior. Before Blue left, he left Jaden with a career, a car, and his chains. He didn't even do that for me, and I still showed up that first year. Even when I gave up, I can still appreciate that he never held it against me and still wanted to be a daddy to Sonny. So she says that, you know, he never held it against me. And then Blueface said, hold on, hold my drink. And he basically said, none of my BMs held me down. Chrisean was there for 7 to 8 months, but child, daddy wasn't enough. And he went on this whole sympathy rant. Here's what Jaden had to say. Pause and read if you didn't see it in my other video, but we got to move the tea along. Pause it, read it if you didn't see it in the other one, but let's move forward. Then Blueface entered the chat saying that he was looking for a golden retriever. Now, if you guys watched the stream that he did with DDG, he explained a golden retriever was basically a girl that barked on his command, accepted whatever BS he had thrown her way, and did what he said. If he say jump, she says how high. If he say jump off a bridge, she says okay gladly. And then before she jumps, he pulls her off to make sure that she doesn't hurt herself, but just he wants a girl that's going to be loyal while he sleeps with whoever he chooses and just does what he says. After Chrisean said what she had to say, Jaden had what she had to say, and Chrisean saying, oh, she asked you for $1,000. Then Clarissa entered the chat. Clarissa showed a message that she sent to Blueface where she's telling him on Instagram, Jaden didn't ask you for no goddamn money. I told you to give your kids money to go out of town. Why she playing like anyone broke but her? And she put underneath that message, Jaden would never ask him for money. I told my son to give her some for our family trip. The F is she reading your mama messages? She's obsessed with me. So Clarissa entered the chat and said, these is messages that I sent my son. Why is she exposing them, saying that Jaden was asking for money when I'm the one who asked my son to send money? Then after that, Clarissa posted and she said, it's against the law to make threats of harm to anyone in the state of California. She will be back in jail before the end of the week. Now, these posts were captured by House of Blues. Anything Blueface related, they tend to show it on there. Now, what she's talking about when she says that it's against the law to make a threat is when Chrisean was basically saying that Jada needs to watch her mouth because she would hate for harm to come to her. So after Jaden snaps back at Chrisean, Clarissa claps back at Chrisean, Blueface, all he had to say about it was he's looking for a golden retriever. Chrisean is basically upset that he didn't have her back. So then she replied and she says, Blue playing both sides. First, he watching them go out of pocket and ain't say nothing. Then when my baby showed that he can stand on his own, he's saying, oh, now he's standing. Boy, stop playing with me, B. He ain't standing because of you being home for 24 hours, B. That's me working with him day in and day out off camera. Y'all don't want my son. Y'all want the benefits that come with him, and that's clout. F that whole side. F Blueface. F that whole side. I gave that ish the benefit of the doubt. It's a trap from the devil. Y'all, they trying to kill me. Y'all ain't gonna see me at all unless I see change with Blue, his mama, and everything that come with that side. I'm standing dolo. It's too much fight. It's too much lame stuff going on. I got no motives. I just came as I am. But check this out. Y'all getting clouted the F out. It's crazy how I just wanted my son to see his daddy. Why they had cameras. So that's why I whipped mine out. There was no real interaction with anyone, to be honest. It's nothing over there genuinely for my son. Too many politics and resentment from the past. Now, translation, Blueface is not acting like he wants me to be his girlfriend, so I'm going to take my child and use my child as a pawn because that's the only leverage that I feel like I have over Blueface. Now, Blueface continued to say that he was looking for more women, was saying that, oh, I thought I had a girlfriend. Come to find out, I don't have a girlfriend. I'm not with my baby mamas, XYZ. I'm looking for new women. I'm going to be on the prowl. I'm just paraphrasing. She's saying, I rebuke the circus and the circus act. We are the church. The circus is for clowns and fools. Blue, if you the head, lead correctly. Don't play with anyone that's assigned to you. If you gonna unlock anyone for favor through your favor, do it with honor and love, not exploitation / dysfunctional. It's not smart and it's hurtful to the people that's following your lead. This isn't in our chessboard. It's Yahweh's. Now, mind you, the day prior, she was saying how she's the whole chessboard. She don't care what characters he unlocked, Now that he's saying F my baby mamas, they didn't hold me down. Now she's saying she's here to serve him and he's not realizing what's in his face. That's kind of what I gather from it. But anyways, he continued to go off on Jaden, saying that he gave her money. She didn't hold him down while he was in jail. They went back and forth, back and forth. Again, I went over all of this in a prior live. If you guys want to see all of the messages where him and Jaden was going back and forth and all the commentary where I was riled up on live, go see that. But let me just highlight a couple of them because some of them is what Chrisean later responds to when she does her "he stumped on me" allegations. I suspect she really was mad that he was hyper focused on Jaden and hyper focused on the fact that he thought he had Angela as his girlfriend while she was sitting there available to be the family woman in his face. He starts off his series of tweets. I got out thinking I had a girlfriend / Angela locked in, but I guess nothing is ever really locked in. So now I'm back on the prowl for something serious. Both my BMs left me in prison, stranded for dead. If I wasn't out today, they'd still be effing off. They will never get a chance to do that again. Don't let them run off, ladies. Okay, so he was saying, listen, they left me stranded and I'm going to leave them stranded. In the next tweet, he says, when you do time, you will never forget who left you there. If either of them think they could ever get back with me under one roof, they high off cucumber and balls. All right, so this was a shot to Chrisean saying, girl, you can't live here. I suspect he got his rocks off and then told her to kick rocks. Everyone want to hold you down when you up, but nobody want to hold you up when you down. I don't care about D and P activities, meaning I don't care that you gave up your poo-tang pie. Girl, bye. That's not holding it down. Holding it down is making sure your incarcerated has the max he can go to the store on his books. Once you put whatever you got going on over that, that's officially when you become a F word in my eyes. It literally costs $300 a month to go to store. Gang B can't do that. Just off the strength, you can't eat at my table no more. Then he says, that last tweet made my stomach hurt all over again, gang. $300 a month. I thought I was for sure good for that at least. Chrisean looked out for me more than Jaden though, just to keep it all the way 100. That's why I halfway respect her. Got probably 7 to 8 months out of her, and I appreciate that. But Jaden dipped off the first week. Then after he took a couple shots at Chrisean, then he spent the rest of his time taking shots at Jaden, talking about how he left her with money. And she clocked him back by saying, boy, rent was $10,000, car note $2,000, money where? I got your kids. I had to do what I had to do. Boom, 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 boom. If you want to see those tweets, again, they're in another live. Let's move forward to then Chrisean making the allegations about how he stumped her out and move forward. She shared some bruises on her arm. I'm not going to show you guys the bruise. If you guys want to see the bruise, maybe I'll put it on my Instagram. But she posted up this arm or whatever with this big bruise. And then she says, my back is still effed up. This N stumped me out for saying bigot blood. Then she says, B, I left a cheat A N-word and what I look like paying your bills and you cheating, LOL, N-word, get them B's to do it. And in typical Chrisean fashion, it's always a contradiction because she just be talking and just saying anything. So in one tweet, she says, what I look like paying your bills. And then in the next tweet, it all made sense why she was mad about Jaden allegedly asking him for $1,000, to which Clarissa said that she's the one who asked. But it all made sense why she was all up in the business because I guess whatever he told her had her forking over all of her money and trying to rub it in other people's face that they didn't give him money and basically saying that, you know, all these people didn't give him money. I gave him all the money that I had. She thought that, I guess that was going to make her his bottom B or his number one girl or his main chick. DDG pulled up, yeah, he your friend, but I know it hurts. See someone that F with you pull up with a camera but no money. Zeus Network have you on live but can't pay you for your time on that live. Everyone that pulled up don't even know you need to get back on your feet. I gave you what I had and it wasn't much, but still gave it because I know you need that ish. Even though I effed up my money, I still understood what you need. Everyone pulled up with no real love. It don't cost nothing to keep it real. Everyone that pulled up took from you. If they pulled up with a camera, they took your likeliness. Not because they love you, they using you. So she posted this to try to rub it in everybody else's face, like, oh, y'all using him. I gave him my last dollar. I'm the one, basically, I love you. They don't. That's pretty much what she's saying. Like, I love you. I care about you. I gave you my last. And then turned around and he didn't care about it. He still was talking about how he's recruiting other females. And then, she wanted to expose that he stumped her out and all that. Well, after this, the following day, she hit up Zeus for money and they put her on blast. So in a series of messages, the CEO of Zeus Network revealed the things that she was texting him, asking him for money, because after all, she gave all her money to Blueface and now she's in need. All right, so here's how the messages go. She wrote Lemmy and said, "What's up with my money?" He replied to her and said, "Chrisean, you are in material breach of your contractual obligations. Accordingly, we are under no further obligation to provide any additional compensation or consideration of any kind. I strongly advise you to review the terms of your executed agreement in full, as it clearly outlines the consequences of such a breach and the limitations of your entitlements therein." So you not gonna give me no money? I stayed, participated, and it on me. The least you could do is pay me. Miss Rock, the very least you can do is refrain from sending frivolous or irrelevant messages merely because you have exhausted your financial resources. As previously stated, you are in material breach of your contractual obligations. I strongly consequences and remedies applicable in the event of a breach. You effed up first, though. You got over. It's just the fact that you have a chance to make ish right and you decide not to. Then you playing like you allowed to do that. Mark my words, you are finished. I gave you a chance to make it right. Miss Rock, you truly need to seek God and rediscover his presence within you. The way you're representing him is deeply misguided. Making threats as though you possess divine authority is not only delusional, but also spiritually dangerous. I'm not sure whether your behavior stems from substance use or deeper mental and emotional struggles, but either way, your words and actions are only worsening your situation. I genuinely pray for your healing, clarity, and peace for you, your family, and your overall well-being. And then she says, you breached contracts multiple times. Stop sending special paragraphs. You know the value I bring to baddies. It goes against my walk with God. I genuinely couldn't keep going through what you and your team did to me. I actually need the money. You gonna make whatever you owe me 20 times back. Can I please have my money? I need it. You breach contracts, whoop-dee-doo. And then he replies, you truly believe I would entertain a call or FaceTime with you after you publicly disparage me and the Zeus Network, referring to both as demonic and making egregiously false, ungodly, and defamatory statements about my character and company? The level of disrespect and lack of accountability is unacceptable. I have no interest in, and then it cuts off. And then he posts another message and he says, Miss Rock has received multiple payments from Zeus Network for her participation on Baddies USA, up to the point at which she voluntarily abandoned production and materially breached her agreement. As such, Zeus Network is under no further obligation to provide additional compensation to an individual who failed to fulfill her contractual obligation and is in clear breach of the terms and conditions set forth in her agreement. So he was like, girl, listen, I don't care about what you're talking about, what threats you making, and all of that. You got paid for the time that you did on the show, and you're not getting paid for the remainder of what you were supposed to get when you didn't even do what you were supposed to do. Like, what? But I just want to get y'all opinion. What do you think as it pertains to her alleging that since he's been out of jail, he has already put hands on her? And she's alleging that she gave him her last money, and yet he did a stream with DDG where DDG didn't give him any money. Now, Chrisean, if he put his hands on you, I don't think that that's right. But I also feel two things can be true. I think that he's wrong for putting his hands on her. But I think that Chrisean is the type of woman, if I can't have you, nobody can. If she can't be with Blueface and he doesn't make her the apple of his eye and put her first and make her the priority, she would rather him be harmed in jail and so on and so forth. Like, she would rather him be in jail, which if he put his hands on her and he go to jail, hey, whoop-de-doo. But I wouldn't put it past her that when she attacked the bodyguard, and if she had got a bruise from that she would try to pin it on Blueface to send him to jail because he doesn't want to be with her. Like, if she can't have him and she can't be in a relationship with him, I believe her when she says she would rather he be in jail or in a grave. And he better take these threats very, very, very serious.
He came out of jail, and now he leading the legions of demons. At the arcade, my phone go missing. Then we get into a whoop-de-woo. He stomped me out. Then he have me bark on a live stream. Like, I don't know when the last time I humiliated myself like that. That was probably like 2 years ago when I was with him. Y'all don't even know the half of what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, we don't know the half because you didn't have to bark. And if he would have made you his girlfriend and said, screw Angela, screw all the other girls, and allowed you to move in with him, you would have been barking every day. As long as you can rub it and prove a point that you got the man in the end and, you got blue, you would have been barking and it wouldn't have been humiliating. Just like you licked that boy toes, and you're saying that the last time that you got humiliated was 2 years ago, as if you wasn't licking feet like a month ago or 2 months ago, whenever that was with the guy Bino. That wasn't humiliating? Or is it only humiliating when you break up with the guy and people are talking about it online because you gladly barked and was happy? He didn't make you do that. You did that because you desperately wanted to get in that room and show that you were there, because I believe you were watching that live stream the whole time because he literally was just talking about how he wanted the girls to hop on one foot, serve him, basically be his lap dog, and then you came in the live immediately being his lap dog.
He have me bark on a live stream. Like, I don't know when the last time I humiliated myself like that. That was probably like 2 years ago when I was with him. Y'all don't even know the half of what I'm trying to say. Long story short, people like that, they deserve to be in a grave or in jail. In jail. Straight up. Care what nobody said. Then he keep going up against me. You can go up against them little small fries, right? But bitch, you can't go up against me. You gonna end up in jail or in a grave. So pick your poison.
She keeps on threatening his life over and over and over again. And the power of the tongue is crazy. She already years ago, when he put her out and she stole his vehicle, wrote like, I love blue and blood and all that. And she is sending out messages that she is willing to take it all the way there. She is crazy. Even on the stream with DDG, she mentioned how she would kill him on that stream also. And people give her excuses all the time because she had a bad upbringing, as if so many other people don't have a bad upbringing. If you have a bad upbringing, if you realize that your mama lived a certain type of life, your dad lived a certain type of life, that is not an excuse to do the same thing. If you see that your circumstances were horrible, do better. Be better. And if you have the resources to pamper Blueface and put napkins and wipe the sweat off of him and fan him down and make sure he not hot and cater to him and put his socks on, you have the wherewithal to go seek help. She is the type that if he acts like he is, showing her any type of favoritism, she would not speak about that. You wouldn't hear about him putting his hands on her. She would act like they in this fairy tale. And it's like, if you gonna stand on somebody treating you right, stand on it regardless, But she doesn't. She tries to do little antics to try to prove her worth, and it's never good enough. The game that she's playing is not one that's to be won. She thinks that if he sleep with a girl, she sleep with a man, they even. That's not how men operate. Men will grow a resentment while she's obsessed and she's trying to, keep on having leverage, like, oh, he sleep with somebody, or oh, he go back with Jade and let me get another man and let me see his reaction. She's thinking that she's evening up the playing field when that's only creating a resentment. The only game that you need to be playing is blocking his ass, okay? Not sleeping with people to try to get an even amount of the people that he sleep with so that or keep on sleeping with different guys to try to get his attention. No, it's blocking him and being prosperous. Showing him that you don't need him. Showing him that even though he gave you the platform, you are going to use the platform and run to the hills with it and elevate yourself. That's how you demand some type of iota of worth from him or anything. Like, if you just constantly got available P, it's not that fairy tale of Blue being this happy family is not going to work. Blueface cares about his image just as much as she does. It hurts her to her core that people said that Blueface had that baby standing up in 24 hours. It hurts her to her core that people are not happy for her being with Blueface. Now, back in 2022 or 2023, whenever he got arrested, it was divided on the internet with people cheering for them to be together and people who were not cheering for them to be together. Now, 90% of the people feel like y'all need to give it up, hang it up, flat screen, whatever. But there are still 10% rocktards who are still rooting for the relationship. And that's just the girls who make dumb decisions just like her. So they are trauma bonding and having a parasocial trauma bond with her. But let's be clear. It's time to stop pretending to be in these relationships and acting like you like these guys, and actually give yourself time to vet a man and actually give yourself time to discern if they're worthy to be around you in your space or your child's space. Give yourself time to vet a man, to grow to actually like him, instead of just trying to hurry up and recycle a new guy to try to keep up with Blue. It's not working. It's too many years in. The whole bad background is not an excuse. It's too many years in and too many foolish things happen. She done been to jail. He done been to jail. And they both on their way going back because they still doing silly stuff. She's making terroristic threats. He's allegedly putting his hands on her. And the cycle is just going and going and going and going. And it's like, no, you have the power to stop it. Only a person with severe delusion like her and her fan base would think that she would go from 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago licking on somebody's toes online to then throwing up the B from a totally different younger guy, and then a few days later be in a fairy tale happy family with Blueface. That was never going to work. It never was going to happen like that. And the people who thought that, oh, he ran back to Chrisean because he loved her, and they couldn't see that it was just the availability that he was being cool to embarrass her again. Child, delusion. And it's time to wake it on up. The delusion, like, it got to stop. It's too many years of delusion. Now, I predicted that he was going to act like he was cool with her, and then he was going to embarrass her. They're very predictable. Blueface is very predictable. She's very predictable. And the fact that all of the girls dealing with him fall for his pillow talk is crazy because they show the same cycle time and time again. Now, if he put his hands on her, I'm sure that it's a potential that he can get violated and be right back in the slammer. And there's a lot of people who suspect that when they were on live, it was other enhancements other than alcohol. Now, all I seen Blueface do was sip out of that pink cap clear bottle, and it looked like he was sipping alcohol. Other people suspect that the sniffling of the nose and how hot he was and all of that, other people suspect there was other things involved. Now, according to, I think somebody said one of his stipulations is mandatory drug tests. Child, you know, may the odds be in whoever's favor. It's a mess out here. But in other predictable fashions, every time she gets into it with Blueface and she gets dragged online, she runs to the church house to give her time with the Lord. And my whole thing is, I think it's good to be, going to church if you are not using it as a front. She is not going to church and actually absorbing the word. She's going for manipulative reasons, in my opinion. And every time she goes for sympathy. It's not because she's really listening to the word, following the word, and living by it. She's not. She uses it as a sympathy thing. She uses that crying as sympathy. She cries on cue when she wants to get her way. She threatens people's lives when she wants to get her way. She manipulates situations when she wants to get her way. And she runs to the church house when she feels like she doesn't have the public on her side to try to get them back on her side to feel sorry for her to get her way. And it's a repeat thing. Now, under the blog, The Neighborhood Talk, before she went to church later that night, early in the morning, immediately when she was crying on live and they posted it, I said, she about to be in church come Sunday with Junior. And lo and behold, that night she was in church. And people in the comments, they were replying to me and they were like, as she should be in church. And my reply was, as she should not. If she's not going to go there for real, genuine worship and not be performative, then no, she shouldn't be in there. She should be in a therapist booth, because obviously there needs to be a lot of healing. And a lot of people, again, they always bring up her upbringing, but it's not this many times in the world before you get the point. Like, it's an obsession with Blueface. It's an unhealthy obsession with Blueface. It's an obsession that Jaden needs to take serious, because she's very, very, very bitter and envious of the position that Jaden still holds in Blueface's eyes. She cannot wipe off the high school sweetheart. She cannot wipe off the, he has kids with her and her kids seem to be thriving. She cannot shake that. She cannot shake the love that he shows for his daughter Journey. She cannot compete with that. And so in order to compete, she keeps on getting herself hurt. And with all of these cycles that keep backfiring, it's growing a hate. And the hate, she's spewing it out and wishing death on people and stuff like that. But when you continuously spew things out, sometimes people act on that. And so Jaden better take these threats serious. Blueface better take these threats serious. Now, she's even threatening bloggers and people who are commentating on this and threatening us as well, saying that we're playing with our mama's lives or our lives or whatever she said. I'll go over her live and all her threats in another video, but I just wanted to focus on, everything that I predicted came true within a matter of days, and it's more to come. She is going to sit up there. She's going to secretly be texting Blueface, like begging for him to be a family because we could have been a family. I'm right here in your face. You rang your family off. And then when he ignores her, she's going to then release all of the messages, release everything that she's done. She's not done. She's going to be releasing more. Just watch. I'll be there to cover it. But y'all let me know what y'all think. What do you guys think of the circus? Did you expect it to crash to this extent so quickly? Did you expect for her 3 days in from him being released that she's already alleging that he put hands on her? And do you think that if he came out and claimed her, that she would be saying anything of the such? I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think, and we'll talk on the next video.